Here I sit within my crumbling walls, writing these words while the cries of dying men surround me in the darkness and great fires, the funeral pyres of a bygone age, burn in the distance. I do not know that you will find this last testament, for the destruction that comes for me may be too complete. But there are things that I cannot leave unsaid. Perhaps you, to whom I was closest among all my childer, can achieve some measure of understanding from these last words, and will not be left to venture forth into the darkness entirely unguided. When I was but a child, I did not see in myself the seeds of the tyrant I would become. They lay dormant, deep within my breast, waiting only for the stimuli of blood and war to grow into full bloom. I desired not to rule, but merely to chronicle the events of the kingdom in which I dwelt, and perhaps to play a small role in the clan's efforts to guide it to a better future. A dark fate awaited that fair kingdom, however, and with its unwelcome arrival came the first stirrings of change in my lifeless heart. Savage barbarians swept in from the north, bringing death and despair with them. Our people were helpless, unable to predict the timing of their raids, and incapable of resisting their might without preparation. As the raids worsened, food and other resources grew short. Civil war arose within the kingdom itself. Our once proud land split into warring factions, each tearing at each other with vulpine single-mindedness, while around the periphery the wolves gathered. It was a long, dark time for our folk, and many elders whom I had thought invincible perished in the innumerable sieges, battles, and raids that punctuated those grim decades. Most of us withdrew from the coast and its vulnerability, trying to preserve a tiny domain for ourselves. It was the brutal, interminable, exhausting defense of that first fife, I think, that infected me with the incurable hunger that drives me to this very night. Again and again my opponents, both mortal and immortal, tried to take what was mine, but to no avail. I learned this lesson first and best. Defend what is yours. Let no other take it from you, for that dishonor is worse than final death itself. It is with such thoughts in mind that I gird myself for what comes. To ensure the safety of that first fife, I had to expand my power base. No one who stands alone is truly secure. In this I learned a second lesson. The acquisition of power only whets the appetite for more. It was during those first nights while I painstakingly constructed the core of my empire that I was truly happiest. Most believed that I had little chance to succeed, but I triumphed anyway, uniting my vassals, Cainite and Kine, in the alliance that drove the invaders from our lands. My victory was complete, and with it came the spoils I wanted so dearly. The kingdom was mine. As prince, I established tight control over my subjects, and for this some labelled me a tyrant, but the memory of the fragmented faith that had been an easy victim for his enemies was always in my mind. I became obsessed with ensuring that such events would never happen again. I hunted down and destroyed my foes throughout the land, and I sired childer, such as yourself, to rule in their stead. Even my most vehement detractors cannot deny that I brought order where there had been chaos, plenty where there had been want, and strength where there had been weakness. My reign passed quickly to my eyes, although it consumed the better part of centuries, a time in which I ruled unchallenged. Success, however, sometimes harbours costs that are dire indeed, and this is perhaps the most ironic of all lessons. Overwhelming victory is sweet, but it makes enemies out of those who fear strength, and unites opponents who would have otherwise remained divided. It breeds jealousy in those lesser beings who would claim all credit for themselves, and for whom no reward is great enough. All around me, dark forces, more inexorable than fate itself, toiled ceaselessly. I saw my closest friends become the bitterest of my enemies, despite decades of unquestioning loyalty. Without warning, ancient foes whom I believed long dead rose again. Their powers increased tenfold, and their minds focused solely upon vengeance. And rivals whom I had unwisely counted upon to continue fighting amongst themselves made peace, joining forces against me. Success had brought me ruin, but my downfall was shaped by more than the blind workings of destiny. This, then, is the last of my lessons to you, child, and be certain you learn it well. There are powers abroad in this world that manipulate the affairs of the most powerful Cainites as if we were but children. We refer to these beings as the Deva, and it is they who are our greatest and most mysterious foes. Among their ranks are the antediluvians, those most ancient and monstrous representatives of our kind, but they comprise only an incomprehensible element of the awful whole. Unimaginably powerful spirits, nigh omniscient magi, and terrifyingly beautiful lords of the Fae also occupy the ranks of these secret masters. Each Deva fears and distrusts the others, resulting in an endless hidden war that can only lead to ruin. The Dark Father, Cain himself, saw that the Deva bring only pain and sorrow to his children, and he bid our founder to oppose the secret master's works wherever he could. That, too, is our task. We are soldiers of the night, who follow in the footsteps of our fallen lord. We must oppose the Deva wherever we encounter their work, and, perhaps most importantly, we must combine the strength of the children of Seth and of Cain into a union that is strong enough to resist their manipulation. By bringing strength, unity, and prosperity to these lands, I have entered unwittingly into the war of the Deva. Their unspeakable hand is evident in the forces that even now move against me. Who knows? Perhaps my rise was part of their plan as well. But my downfall assuredly is. The sounds of battle grow louder as my enemies pour through the breach and flood the killing ground beneath the keep. I go now to join the final battle. May your will never falter. Friedrich von Tonnenberg, the year of our Lord, 1197.
Welcome, traveler, 1,000 welcomes. I am Boslav Volony, voivode of all you survey. Allow me to introduce my scions and delights. This is Boryovsh, tall and sinewed like a lion, pride of his sire. Next is Oleg, master of the hunt, the one who escorted you beneath my eaves. Nay, Oleg, put that down. You alarm our guest. All in due time. Gentle Ludmila is so shy she stands away in shadow. It is she who toys with the straps. Ah, you must forgive Drahomira. She can be regrettably forward for so long as you sojourn beneath my roof. We stand ready to offer you all the hospitality of the East. Speakest thou Slavonic? No? Well then, I shall discourse with you in your argot. You will forgive my poor diction. The legions never penetrated this far into our lands, and so my Latin comes from the books dearest Micah sends as curios. My pardon. Of course you know nothing of such matters. What is your name, honored guest? Eh? Beg pardon? Gentle sir, I do not understand. Ah, Stefan, a Christian name. He was a saint, was he not? You Christians have so many saints. But then, I suppose, Christians have a regrettable predilection for dying in one form of agony or another. Pity. You will be so kind as to forgive to the somewhat Procrustrian accommodations. Here across the Elbe, we are not so civilized as your fine masters. Yet what we lack in niceties, I assure you, we make up for in meticulous attentiveness. But then, that is why your Teuton wolflings hurl themselves on us like overeager lovers. The Drangnak Osten, I believe a few of your chantry wags prophetically dub it. Nay, I do not bother to deny, good Stefan. It is true what they whisper, the blood calls to us. Yes, indeed, I am old. I yet know the scent of a Tremere connoisseur, one of all battened on usurper vitae. We Tzimisce can smell it. Not surprising, really. It smells similar to our own, remarkably similar, almost identical, if truth be known. But enough of that. We are curious, Stefan. If nothing else, we are in the East, and are known for our cordial hospitality. Why then, on a night like this, when the fog creeps low through the vales and the hills shiver with the howls of the wolves, did you think to lurk outside the fortress walls? What is that? You meant no offense. My dear boy, none taken. Your wizardly masters may cloister themselves in towers, glowering balefully on strangers. But we Tzimisce are an open and trusting folk. Indeed, our reputation for receptiveness is matched only by our reputation for mercy. Would you not agree, Stefan? What is it your masters call us, as they fearfully scan the nights from their battlements? Why, Stefan, you are pale and shaking. Did I not say that the night air might prove bad for your health? I had thought to let you pass the night and leave come the morn, but you seem gripped with illness. That settles it. Then you shall stay with us indefinitely, and we shall work our arts on your physique upon you, that you might be made well. What? Oh, do not think to thank us. It is the smallest task, and one to which we shall set with alacrity. After all, save for the stimulating diversion your Tremere masters have recently seen fit to offer, there is little to occupy us in the old country. No, we stand ready to provide our fullest attentions to you tonight, and the night after, and the night after. And for... devils take that noise! Oleg, send some of the slata to quiet that infernal shrieking! Yes, go! Now then. Why, dearest Stefan, once more you are rattling in your irons. What discommodates you so? Truly, you seem beset with the liveliest illness. It is well that you rest here and enjoy the benefices of our ministrations. But my question remains unanswered, Stefan. Why, rather than simply requesting admittance, did you endanger your health by snuffing about our fortifications in the chill night? Oh, my dear Stefan, no need for such historics. I understand you are ignorant of our customs, eminently reasonable. Your sorceress employers are learned and wise, but they have grown distant from the folk, and are occasionally remiss in matters of protocol. It is well, perhaps, that we Tzimisce are such a forgiving people. In some quarters, such ignorance could go so far as to provoke unpleasantries intended as, let us say, retributive. I apologize, Stefan. My diction, I know. But such intolerance is for werewolves or bloody-handed usurpers. Since you obviously came to my fiefdom with only the best of intentions, seeking erudition with only the greatest goodwill, we would be honored to speak with you concerning the ways of our kind. Even more, we insist that you reciprocate by telling us of yourself and your masters and the errand on which you came. And should your memory fail or illness still your tongue, rest assured that we have countless means of igniting the mind and spirit. And so now we shall speak of many things, of the old country, and our line and our ways, and most especially of you, dearest Stefan. Such leisurely discourses, after all, an old Carpathian custom. We are a tradition-bound folk, you see, and abide by many such conventions. We wish you the best of health, that you may stay long with us, and partake of them all.